What up? What it do, beautiful people? So it's another episode of Positive Vibes. You know what I'm saying? I try to. The goal is to talk about something positive with all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, in people's backyards, right in front of our faces, or whatever. But this is not to act as if things aren't happening, and this is not to make you feel like all you got to do is think positive and everything's sunshine and rainbows. But I think that sometimes you got to find that silver lining. Where for me, sometimes it could be a song, it could be a video, it could be a conversation with a friend or friends that just helps, I guess you could say, ease the pain and the frustrations and all the things that comes with what's going on right now. And so, anyways, I'm going to read this quote that I read or that I found. And I posted it recently on my Instagram, but it was so powerful, so layered. And I was like, man, I got to make a positive vibes about this. So here we go. It says, finding yourself, end quote, is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a child and adult that became your beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself and unlearning, an excavation, a remembering of who you were before the world got its hands on you. Now, there's so much stuff in this. You see me stumbling a little bit over the reading, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we have been taught that it's all about the outwardly, the material possessions you can possess, the how much stuff you have, only what you look like aesthetically, right? And then as we grow older and more mature, you start to realize that there's more to life, right? There's more to people than just what they look like or what they have. And I have been fortunate enough to be around people that have a lot. And when I was around these people on a regular basis living in Miami, I saw how miserable they were. And I didn't understand, like, how could you be so miserable with 11 cars and spiral staircase in your house that leads out into a pool or whatever it is, or not having to worry about what's in your bank account, really. You know what I'm saying? Where you could just buy stuff all willy-nilly and it is what it is. And so when I'm reading this, I'm like, yeah, finding yourself. In the fitness world, I talk a lot about not just working out, but working in. It's something that hit me one time. I'm like, we can work out, but challenge yourself to work in, work from the inside out. Deal with your thoughts and your demons and whatever, because we all have them. So reading this, I'm like, man, finding yourself is not really how it works, because we are right here and we have all buried things, suppressed them, hidden them, try to tuck them away, mask them with other stuff, whether that's material, whether that's alcohol, whether that's drugs, whether that's sex, whether that's, belittling other people so you trick yourself into feeling better. And it's interesting where it says buried under cultural conditioning, because we all have different cultures and different things we believe in. And I was having this conversation yesterday with someone where I was saying, with one of my clients that I train, and I was talking about the fact that I have a hard problem asking people for help. And it doesn't matter what I'm going through or what I'm dealing with. I don't like it. Reason why, or at least I didn't know why. I'm like, why is asking for something, just not even help, just asking questions in general is difficult for me. And then I would meet people that would have 50,000 questions, and I would get annoyed. Like, why are you asking so many questions? Like, it just is what it is. Let it be. And then I realized when I spent some time with myself and traveling back into my childhood, that growing up in a military house, and this isn't to point blame, this is just fact. Growing up in a military household, we are taught, at least I was, don't ask for nothing. Now, I know my parents are doing the best they could do with what they had or whatever, but when we go to the store, don't ask me for nothing. When we go in here, don't ask me for nothing. When I tell you to do something, you do as I say. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't ask no questions. Is that understood? Yes, sir, it's understood. So that seed gets planted early. You don't ask for nothing. You don't ask no questions. You just do. The hard part is as you grow and you mature, now me being a business owner, creator, entrepreneur, if you will, I have sat in meetings, and I would sit in meetings or go to events or whatever, and when people say, hey, do you have any questions? I'm like, no. Naturally, my instinct is just to say no. I'm not even thinking about, do I really have a question? I don't. If this is what you say is what it is, this is what it is. So I am currently unlearning that to even if, and I'm not, but even when I was in a relationship, if someone like gave me all, not all, but you have these other conversations and someone gives you their feelings and emotions or stuff and I'm not like cold-hearted and don't care. But when they're done talking and they be like, well, is there anything you want to say? You have questions? Or I'll be like, no. So what I've had to learn to do is say, listen, you got to give me some time. And it's like, what? I'm like, I need to process everything that you've said, then figure out how to formulate a question, because it doesn't come natural for me. My natural is no, I don't have no questions. Let's just do the thing. Or get it done, right? So then I have business meetings and people will say, well, got any questions about this? No, it's clear. So my new team of people that has been helping me, shout out to Freddie B, Anna Montana, and the whole fam, we created this business proposal for the brand. And Freddie B said to me, hey man, you gotta we're gonna run through this proposal and you have to give me at least, I think it was at least five questions. So I said, all right, after we read it, I said, give me a minute. Because I have to actively try to find questions. And that's part of my healing, that's part of my growth, and that's just me being authentic. So when they talk about, in this quote about cultural conditioning, that is a condition that is heavy on me, might not be on you. My sister's the opposite. She will ask for whatever, whenever, how. She don't have no, and that's not to throw her under no bus or nothing, just showing you the difference of like, we was under the same roof, but for me, it was received differently. So, and also it says, about you burying yourself under other people's opinions. Now you can try to act like you don't care and I don't have no feelings and F your feelings and all this stuff I see people talk about and posting. But the reality is that people do care. And we have to find that within ourselves to not care to a point. And the reason why I say that is because some people think they like the I'm not gonna care about your opinion means I get to say and do whatever, and you just have to deal with it. I don't operate that way. If you push me in a certain way and I stop caring, trust me, it's not pretty. However, I remember Les Brown said this, other people's opinions of you is none of your business. But some people search for that approval. They search for that reassurance. They search for that confirmation, like, am I good enough? Am I this enough? Am I that enough? So people do care. People buy what they buy because they care. If somebody got these new Jordans on and people respond a certain way, oh, bro, you killing the game. Look at it. It make you feel good. So there is a lane or you buy a new car or whatever, and people like, man, that's nice. You feel some type of way. So let's not act like people's opinions absolutely don't matter. It's just when we start to search inwardly and get to the root issues and the real meat of the situations, nobody else can feel it and relate in the way that you will to your own situations. There's people that will empathize and sympathize with you or for you. And there's people that your situations are relatable. However, that's what brings us together. But we have to have these conversations. And a lot of times people don't want to have these conversations because it forces you to deal with yourself. And most people don't want to deal with themselves. So I love when it says finding yourself is actually returning to yourself. So, hang out with children and babies. I've been around kids and babies this whole quarantine and whatever. And I'm like, man, you can see the freedom of like, I don't care. This is what's fun to me. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to, there's no filter. So we have to start cleaning and removing these filters because we built so many that we can't even operate on a day-to-day basis without feeling like, oh, I don't want to offend someone or I don't want to. No, tell me what it is. You can respectfully check people. You can respectfully tell someone the truth. And real friends and real people have no problem telling you the truth, whether you like it or not. How you process it, how you receive it, that's on you. So think about what you believe in and have been taught to believe in. That's the thing. We've been taught all these things. That's why as soon as somebody's beliefs go up against yours or not the same, people get defensive and they get mad and they get angry. And it's like, but you ain't even researched what I'm telling you. You ain't even hearing me out. You just ready to react. So I love at the end, it says a remembering of who you were before the world got its hands on you. That's from TV, that's from music, that's from friends, that's from frenemies. With all these opinions and you should do this. And I love when people hit me up and tell me what I should be doing with my brain. And they haven't built a toothpick fork. They haven't done anything. But they got all the answers and all the, I'm like, sure, take it with a grain of salt. You might have a great idea. I'm open to the idea. But then there's a cutoff where it's like, listen, man, if you haven't been doing what I'm doing, or can you show me your, like what you've built? I'm out. Like, okay, sure. Because people don't know what it takes. They just say, oh, you should have this. I'm like, yeah, that costs money. Money I don't have. So I hear you. I will put that over here, table it for some other time. This is where I'm at right now. But you have to understand that there's a physical world and there's a spiritual world. And that's only, I'm only giving you those two for this. In between the two, there's a war, a daily war. They say angels and demons. Well, they're spirits, they're energies. So the world has shaped and shifted us because of how we grew up, what we watch, what we listen to, who we hang out with. All that stuff matters. And it blocks you from thinking and acting for yourself. But once you can start to tune back in, turn in, work in, go in, deal with that stuff you've been hiding, you've been burying, and then see what happens. So you don't have to find yourself. You are already you. But you have to find what made you you before the world shaped you into something that you don't want to be. And that's battling social media where everyone got to be perfect. And this got to be perfect. The pictures got to be perfect. Everything got to be. And we're all guilty. I'm not saying I'm immune to this. That's why this post hit me in the way that it did. So I will read this again, and then we will call it good for positive vibes. So finding yourself, in quotes, is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last year's winter coat. Although finding money in a coat is cool. I live in Arizona, so winter coat. But if you find some money, you feel kind of good. But if you really think about it, it's just temporary, right? So even if you did find yourself that way, that's not really finding yourself. You know what I mean? It's just one of the moments where you're like, oh, that was cool. And then you go spend it right away, right? You don't really appreciate it. You just appreciate that you found it. So your true self is right there, meaning right in front of you. You are your true self. It's right there. Who am I? What makes me me? From the inside out, who are you? I do this a lot with instructors. When I watch instructors teach, I'm like, that person doesn't know who they are yet. It's not to judge them or belittle them. You don't know your voice. You're not confident in what you're doing. So it get masked around other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some people might mask it with just the most loudest, ridiculous music. Some people will mask it by yelling and screaming the whole class on some drill sergeant trying to intimidate in the form of motivation. And some people like that. But when you know who you are, then you understand how to balance different elements. And you understand how to be present in said moment. So the true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning. Just know that conditioning is real. Programming is real. That's why they call it television programming. They shape, that's why I don't watch the news. Y'all don't have nothing positive to talk about. It's trash. And it makes you operate on a lower frequency. It adds to your already fears and to some people's already ignorance. And it just justifies. I digress. Other people's opinions. Stop letting other people's opinions dictate how you live every moment of your life. Sometimes I have to tell myself, Kiana, just do it. Don't ask nobody. Just do the thing. Because I'm guilty too. Just go do it. And you'll find out about it once it's done. An inaccurate conclusion you drew as a child. Inaccurate. Not even true. Not even you. And as an adult, that became your beliefs about who you are. That's powerful stuff. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself. It's time for us to go back home. It's time for us to become us in the best version. It doesn't mean you're perfect. That means you are willing to admit where you have been hurt, where you have been scarred, where you have been betrayed, where all this stuff that's been buried. What frustrates you, I call them triggers, what your triggers are. Everyone has triggers, and you can't get mad at someone for setting off one of your triggers if you never had a conversation with them. And you don't know what your triggers are if you never have a conversation with yourself authentically. So, an unlearning, an excavation, a remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. So, get your hands back on you. Get back to yourself. I say this in class a lot. Hug yourself. Love yourself. If you don't, nobody else will, and that's your fault. And people some might laugh or whatever, but it's kind of that like nervous laugh, like, telling on me. Yeah. So, get back to being you. You can only be the best version you. Everything changes in your life when you start to authentically become you. This is me. This is who I am. This is how I operate. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. All of that. And especially if you're in a field like mine, teaching group fitness and online, you can be inspired by whoever. But if you're trying to be someone else, you're going to be stressed out every day. And you can front all you want. You could post all the positive quotes and make the captions you want on social media. But it's some people that know you. And they know that you don't even operate like that in real life. Not even at all. Not even a little bit. You know the whole saying, post who you post to be? Pay attention. Because it's a lot of $3 bills out there. It's a lot of frauds. But get back to being you. You are yourself. And you were yourself before we let the world dictate who we are and who you are and what makes you you. But once you start to go in, I'm telling you, it is worth it. If you have to cry, you cry till you can't cry no more. I tell people all the time, crying is soul cleansing. Cleanse your soul. Beautiful. You will feel lighter. You will feel better. Get it out. If you need to go hit something, take a boxing class, do karate, I don't know, get on a bike, run, scream, listen to your favorite music and rap all the lyrics at the top of your lungs. Do whatever to get some stuff out so that you can allow to start pouring back into yourself and stop depending on someone else to pour into you and give you everything you need. You give it to you first, so then other people can only enhance what you already have. So anyways, I'm out of here, man. Make sure, shout out to all my Patreons, the Arsenal Alliance in the building. Appreciate y'all, man. And if you don't know, go on my Patreon, patreon.com/inside the Arsenal, you know what I mean? And become a founding member. Join your boy on this journey, man. We're creating a movement, and I would love to have y'all in there. I only have 20 spots for the founding members. Going fast. And actually, I'll take that back. There's 14 spots left. But anyways, man, so patreon.com/inside the Arsenal. You gonna get it. Workout videos daily. All access to these video podcasts and other ones, the same difference. Yacht tales, a bunch of stuff. So support the movement, join the movement. I'm out of here. Peace, love, and fire ants. Shut up the palm trees. You know how we do. We out.